I think we're lost.
This is the way.
I really don't think it is. You boys need directions. Fuck. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're taking a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Star Wars The Mandalorian. You know, the Mandalorian from The Mandalorian. And I love this show. I really love this show. Not only because it's badass and it puts a lot of love and care into the Star Wars universe, it's also, how to put this delicately, it's brought those who were put off by the sequel trilogy back in just a little bit, basically the people who hate the sequels or any other whatever they hate can go, oh, but The Mandalorian's cool. Plus it takes that mystery and mystique of Boba Fett from back in the day when he was just the badass looking bounty hunter off to the side, and giving it, well, to a different character, exploring that mystique. So to get figures from that show is always awesome. That's what I'm trying to say here. Looking at the package, it's our standard SH Figuarts packaging. Big window, shows most of what's in there. Looking through the camera, it seems really dark. Black background, but for the Mandalorian, we get copper. On the side, nice pretty promotional shot of the Mandalorian. On the back, same thing in different poses, showing kind of what we get with the figure. Down here's the warnings, don't put them in your mouth. Oh, ages 15 and up. Well, not for children under 3 years. What about from 4 to 14? On the side, that same copper color scheme, some logos. There's your hologram to show that it is not a bootleg. On the top, logos, copper. On the bottom, more warnings, legalese, you're winning lottery numbers. But let's get this open, see what's going on here. And just trying to get an idea from the outside of the package. I don't know how easy it is to see with the light glare and the plastic, but that small little piece right there, ooh, that's intimidating. Right there. Interchangeable strap. Do not misplace. You know, don't lose your shit. Put the blaster in the hand. The holster is swappable. Holding onto the rifle. Breaks down? Oh, okay, it swaps to the, there's your little pieces. That's to put it on the, why does this seem overly complicated before I actually get to the figure? Okay, that strap coming over the shoulder is obviously to hold the rifle. I'm gonna try to take this out, do some surgery. Nope, it only goes one way. And you gotta you have to guess it which way. And here we are out of the package. And it's definitely Mandalorian, definitely Figuarts, but man, there's some stupid shit going on here. First of all, before anybody comments about that not being in, I already lost it. And we will get to that in a minute. Now, like I said, this is definitely the Mandalorian. It has all the right pieces, the right parts, but like down here at the leg, these nice silver cylinders around what looks to be a Scarif Shore Trooper shin plate. And then on the other side, just a boot with a wrap. There's a pouch right there because you always need more pouches. The standard Mandalorian knee piece with the, I think these shoot out some kind of darts or something. Or I'm making that up, screw it. The thigh plates that look to be salvaged from other armors, again, matching what we see in the show mostly. Have the wrist gauntlets with whatever this side is, and then over here, whatever this side is. Around the belt, you have the blue plates hanging down right here. The belt is nicely sculpted. Cylinders, buckle. Are these detonators of some kind? Around to the back, there's another metal plate. More cylinders. And then over where the holster hangs. The shoulders, you can't tell me that's not a Shore Trooper armor plate. And then on the other side, like in the show, a different piece. Again, just salvaged armor. The strap coming across, and then of course the chest armor with what we're used to seeing when it comes to Mandalorian type armor. It's meant to feel nostalgic and recognizable at the same time, bringing something new into the whole story of Star Wars. But I can't help thinking that the chest plate is sculpted large. It just seems bigger and hangs down further and is wider. I don't know. Which brings us up to the head. And some of you are going to hate me for this, but this head is too small. There's no way a human head with this body can fit in that helmet. Don't get me wrong, the details are beautiful. Everything's sculpted nicely. The patina, the paint. I mean, just look at pictures from the show itself or promotional materials. And like Figuarts tends to do with the armored characters, there's nice silver chipping to the armor plates and you can see some wear and tear, but it's definitely not dirty enough to represent the show itself. The Mandalorian brought back that dirty, grimy look that we remember from the original trilogy. But this figure, it's just too clean. Especially on the undergarment. And it was the same with Boba Fett. It was the same with Jango. It's just too much raw plastic showing. And I understand this is hidden under the cape, but couldn't throw some paint there? I do like that it seems there's a black wash to it running up the edge of this armor, and you can see it in places, but it's just not heavy enough. And then I think there's some missing paint here on this gauntlet. I think that's silver on that little... There's also the cape. I'm just going to be dropping this whole video. It's a nice material. It's soft on the outside, more fabric on the inside, but boy, is it lifeless. It just hangs there flat. It reminds me of Dooku's cape, which is a shame because with Vader, we got wires running down the side, and you could pose it, and this, you can kind of fold it over and try to get something going with it, but eventually, it just falls back into flatness. All right, this plug. I did manage to take a picture of it before I lost it. And what happens there is this strap is attached down at the bottom. And then it's loose past that, all the way up the shoulder, and then attached into the back there. And then goes loose again as it's supposed to look like it's attached to the belt back here. And that peg on that plug ran through that into the hole on the torso. The problem with that is if you go to articulate it at all, especially forward, those fall out of alignment. You can see the strap thing that was on there in the package. So it's pegged through, you articulate it, and it pulls the pin out of the hole. So a couple of cranks here, and you have this just falling out. And that's what happened. I had that plug in there, I cranked it forward to take a picture, I brought it back, I actually pushed it in because I was like, oh, well, it's coming out a little bit. Went to take another picture, tint, rotated, bing! I have been searching and I cannot find it. It's gone. But really in poses, it just seems like, oh, well, there's a hole in the bandolier. Not a biggie. Or I'll just display it with this on there. I have seen some people trying to fix the small head problem by taking the head off and getting it raised up. And that seems to help the proportions a little bit, but there's still no way a human head fits in there. But with that, there is a dumbbell joint going from the neck into the head, and then a ball joint down at the bottom. Can look up, bury the chin. Oh, tilt! Swivel, all kinds of movement there. There's also a dumbbell joint at the shoulder going deep in there. So you can drop the shoulder an unnatural amount. That's crazy looking. That hinges out, rotates all the way around. The shoulder pad is on an arm that you can bring away from the body. That's also held on by a ball joint. Wherever you put the arm, you'll be able to hide it with the shoulder bell. Swivel at the bicep, that's a little bit hard to manipulate because as soon as you turn, it's turning inside the torso. Double elbow, yeah, not bad. Oh, you holster. Swivel hinge swivel at the wrist, so up and down, or you can manipulate it around side to side. Ball joint mid-torso, and then a ball at the waist gets you hula hooping nicely. There's a hinge at the holster. Again, that's a conversation for in a minute. And there's also a hinge at these side plates. The hips are kind of strange. They're almost like the last Spider-Man figure from Far From Home, I think it was. But there's a cap in there that helps hide the articulation, and that allows for that much back out. But there's also a drop down, but not where we're used to seeing it. We may have seen this in the Stormtrooper or something, but the whole thigh shifts down. And with that, it gives you a bit more range all the way around. In fact, with the leg out of the way, it's almost there. Took me a minute to find that joint too because I stood him up and I was thinking, wait, what in the hell? Why is he so crooked? Very tight too. And of course on that joint it rotates. Double knee, no, too much sculpt. And then at the ankle, back, forward facing pin for rocker, and then a toe joint goes that far. For accessories, it comes with 2 fists, it comes with 2 relaxed hands, it comes with 2 splayed out hands, it comes with 1 trigger finger for the pistol, a set of hands, 1 trigger finger, 1 holding the weight of the weapon for the rifle. It is tight. It is loud, but I haven't had too much of a problem swapping these out. Like I said, it comes with a pistol, very nice tight sculpt here. Some silver, some brown, black plastic. And you use the trigger finger hand where the finger isn't sticking out as far and the grip is slightly smaller. Easy enough, thread the finger in, done. But for options, we also have 2 holsters. And I don't know how much of a fan of this I am. I'm okay with the swappable holster because it goes flat when you pull the gun out. Or well, when you have the gun out in the hand. It's not a big hole just sitting there on the side. But to swap this out and to keep it hingeable, you have to kind of twist it off the peg there. Then work this onto there. It's not bad, but it's not really secure. With the gun and the hand, I'm just gonna leave that on there. And then there's the rifle. I love the look of this. Like the body, it is clean, but I love the silvers and the little copper accents and the browns. And this is where the other trigger finger hand with the finger further out and a bigger grip comes into play. Once it's in there, you know it's in there. Then you have this left hand to hold the weight of the weapon. It doesn't really grip tight anywhere unless you put it all the way down here at the bottom, but that's not bad either. But then there is this option, and oh my god, is this a pain in the ass. Essentially, you take the barrel off the front, you take the grip and trigger off the back. There's this alternate piece that has a plug right here. Plug the barrel onto this other piece, plug that onto the back. Then you have this hole in the back right there. The first couple of times I did this, I couldn't get it lined up, but there is a spot where you push in and it stays fairly tight. But you also have to get this strap up here. Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot about this bullshit. There's a tiny piece right there that you have to pull out, and that opens up a hole for this to plug in. Or, well, it's supposed to plug. Oh, I got it! That's the first time I've got it to thread. And that, my friends, is how you mount the rifle on his back. Until you go to move it, and stuff starts falling off. This isn't the tightest connection here. I said stay on there. Why aren't you listening to me, inanimate plastic object? Oh my god. To hell with it. I think at this point, it should have just been a whole other rifle, one piece, with this little plug molded on it. You know, is that too much trouble? You saved on some paint apps. Give us another gun. And then trying to get this little piece back on there. It's strange too, because this one seems to go on there tighter. It doesn't want to fall off near as easy as on that alternate piece. The Mandalorian stands at about 5 7/8. Here it is with the Figuarts Boba Fett and Jango Fett. Not Mandalorians! As much as I don't like these two, as much as other versions of these same characters, you can tell that their helmets seem big enough to have a human head under there. There's definite difference. Here it is beside the Hasbro Black Series Boba Fett and Jango. At least on these two, the shoulders line up. So the body for the Figuarts is in scale with other 6-inch lines. I don't know why I didn't do this one first, but here's the Hasbro Black Series Mandalorian. My extra, for some reason the helmet is warped up here on the front, so it looks oddball. My other one looks way better, but I have a custom cape on this one that shows that cloth can be manipulated. Again, the shoulders all line up, heads don't. But if you do want this a little bit taller, like I said, the thighs drop down, and that makes him slightly taller, but I think that just accentuates the odd proportions even more. Thighs back down next to the Figuarts new Stormtrooper and then the model kit Stormtrooper. It looks good next to the Hasbro Heavy Mandalorian and Cara Dune and Baby Yoda. And then next to the Medicom Mafex Boba Fett's. Medicom just solicited their Mafex Mandalorian. We'll see how that goes. So at the end of the day, I'll be waiting for other Mandalorian figures, I think. It's really odd how Tamashii Nations treats armored characters. I didn't like their Jango Fett. It was loose and weird and clean. And it's the same for their Boba Fett. A nice action figure, but still very thin and plasticky. And while the articulation is more than suitable here and durable, it feels like a Revoltech figure. You get it into the pose and then you're constantly tweaking and messing with stuff. Putting the shoulder pads up over or bringing the arms back up because it's dropped to some ungodly amount down into the torso. The feet being big gives it a good base to stand on though. There's a good point. But looking at it overall, the lifeless cape, the small head, the big chest, the lack of dirtiness in some paint apps, I don't know. And you guys know me. I try to find the silver lining of every figure I play with, and there is some silver lining here. Maybe I can find a custom head that is larger and put it on here. Same goes for the cape, and I think with just those two things and maybe some dry brush on the overall figure, it would be way up higher on the ladder of Mandalorian figures that I want on the display. But as is, it's a little bit wonky and kind of not fun. I found myself more frustrated throughout this whole thing, and that's never good. This will go through a play day, and then I'll definitely be looking forward to the Mafex Mandalorian, which is a completely different version. I say all this, and this is the look that he had for less than one episode. I think the rest of the figures from here on out is all Beskar up and later in the series. So maybe they'll do some changes, but even then, the Bandai Beskar up Mandalorian looks to have the same proportion problems. Oh well. So if you enjoyed this gripe fest of a review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. Stand straight. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh.